Ashton here with Love, Life and Disability. Hi and welcome back to Love, Life and Disability. I'm here today with Leonie, who is a former national, international para swimmer and has even been on trials with London 2012. Currently working in unscripted factual entertainment television production, and she is also a freelance production coordinator. Leonie lives with cerebral palsy. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
Hi, Kate. I'm all good, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much for coming along. I'd love today to talk to you a little bit about your Paralympics, because obviously this year, as we know, we have Paralympics happening in 2021, and you did trials for London 2012 in swimming. How was that?
It was incredible, really. I spent a lot of my life up until then swimming. It was just a huge part of my life, and it was such a big moment for me. I'd been training towards it, and I was sort of at the peak of my career, so to say, because I was actually at the age where I was doing my studying, thinking of university and everything. But that's obviously one of my biggest achievements in life, really. Just getting to a point where I'm at that national, international standard was just incredible, and it always stays with me now. Not so much, I don't swim as much now, but I definitely, it's always there. But yeah, very amazing.
How does the training take over one's life? Because you hear it so many times from Paralympians, it's they just live, breathe their discipline, their sport. How much did it take over you and maybe your life at that time, practicing?
Um, yeah, it was a huge part, because I was quite young then, so it wasn't even just my life, it was my family's life. But leading up to, well, when I went to the trials, it was in my final year of my GCSEs, and it was just a whirlwind. When I think about it all now, I think, how did I do it? But I was training, but I was also training at quite far away, so I'd be picked up from school, eat my dinner on a train on my own to get to the pool, go swimming, and then my dad would come pick me up, and then we'd go back. But I was training, I'd say, about 12 hours a week in the pool, and they were mainly evenings. I did some mornings, but again, it was the complications of I had a younger brother, and it's my mum who was taking me, so it was just quite difficult at the time. But you forget how much it consumes your life as well. But
It's very supportive family, and I bet that your whole family would look up to you, just to think that their daughter and their sister could be the next Paralympian representing London 2012. For those
yeah.
people that don't understand the disciplines, because with disabilities and especially parasport, you'll be categorized into different disciplines. How and what was your discipline? And can you tell us a little bit how disciplines work within parasport?
Yeah, so at the time, I mean, it has been a little while now since I swam, but what I was in the category S9. So my disability is on my left side, it's cerebral palsy, but it's quite the mild form. It doesn't affect me in my daily life as much, only when I start to get tired and stuff like that. But it's quite unnoticeable, just normally if someone were to see me. So I was on the S9 category, which was in the physical impairments, one of the higher classes. And then on my breaststroke, before I was SB8, and then I was moved to SB9, but they were basically, it's the range from 1 to 10 is physical disabilities, and you're classed within that, and that is in when you're competing, that is the sort of group that you're assessed in, and that's how you win your medals. It'll be in those categories, and then from 11 to 15, I think it is, it's more the mental and hearing and the visual impairments. So normally when I was competing nationally, it was you were swimming across all categories with all different people. I remember sometimes, or I think there was one race I was swimming next to Ellie Simmons, and it was just like that was like a pinch me moment, because I was just like, oh my gosh. And then my mum up in the crowd, and I was like, oh wow. But yeah, so in terms of the categories, I was quite I was high in the numbers of the categories. But gradually, as I've got older, I could start to see my disability appear a bit more. So that was when, because you're assigned a category from quite an early age, it was hard to ever change that, especially because you had my ability within the water compared to on land is a bit different.
And definitely with swimming, sometimes like with the gravity as well, it can help us with
Yes.
disabilities. Like mine's spinal and and mobility. If I'm in the water, I'm a lot better than I am on dry land, that's for sure.
Definitely. I can go in now. If I go into the pool now, it's like second nature, and I could just swim and swim. Not fast, not anymore. But compared to like, yeah, on land now, I walk and I have to watch where I'm stepping in case I trip up or something. But yeah, always. It's just, and it's always been in my, like, just embedded in my life now, my body. But yeah, I love getting in the pool now because that's where I'm comfortable.
And warm water or cold water, which is your preference?
Warm. Oh my gosh.
High
I
five,
don't know
girl.
how people do it. I don't know. We've got a Lido near me, so I will sometimes go there. But the minute I start feeling cold, I'm like, no, I'll get out.
I always have to do the temperature check before I get in, and they're like, go on, jump in, or go on in, it'll warm up once you're in, you won't notice. And I'm like, no, too cold, can't go swimming today, and I'll get completely changed and everything. I'll go then. If it's too cold, I just won't get in. It's just like, no,
Yeah.
not happening. So you touched upon there about living with cerebral palsy. Can you talk us a little bit more about this disability and how it can affect you?
Yeah, so I was born with it. However, I got diagnosed with it when I was 2. But it's cerebral palsy on my left side. So it just means I have brain damage, I think, in my right side that affects my left side. But for me, it's more the finer motor skills. I'm trying to think of, like, it's like smaller movements, not so much. I can walk, I'm fully able to walk and stuff, but once I start to tire, then I might limp, which I don't ever realize that I'm doing until someone notices. Or yeah, it's just like sometimes it's my finer motor skills in my hand. So picking up things is okay, but the strength around it on my left side is a bit less able. And then also my coordination sometimes and balance with this snow that was happening. Oh my gosh, I was all over the place. I'm like Bambi. But yeah, in my normal day-to-day life, I think also it's different with when you're born with disability or when you're just brought up with it, you adapt to life a lot more. So it's at times when you do reflect on maybe how it affects you, but you've just gone on with it and you don't really see it. So yeah, definitely for me, I think normal everyday life, it doesn't affect me day in, day out. However, when I get tired or there's different things in the environment that affect me, i.e. the weather and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's my finer motor skills. Everything else is all good, I hope.
Weather seems to be a common thing with a lot of variety of different disabilities, even down to like mental health. Like if it's nice and sunny outside, some people prefer, it cheers them up a little bit. When
Definitely.
you got a physical one, similar to myself, cold, not happening. It just isn't good on the body, and I feel it in my needs. I feel it everywhere. I just want to be with my hot water bottles, and I
Yeah.
live with my hot water bottles. And it does have a huge impact, and people look at you really strange when you tell them that no, the weather has a real big impact.
Definitely. And yeah, it's hard to explain to someone when they don't have it or they don't realize how it affects you, because I could say, like, it's even like traveling to work. in a normal time when it was icy and slippery. Like that journey for me might take like not double the time, but quite a lot more time, only because I'm trying to walk slower so I don't trip up and stuff. Like slippery floors, like I always get a bit too confident sometimes, like walking, rushing from the train and stuff, and then so I might be like trip or something, but that's the thing that grounds me and makes me slow down. But yeah, definitely. And even the cold, that's what I dread. It's more the winter. I love the snow, but it's the after effects and stuff. Like I feel so stiff, or like my fingers, they struggle with it sometimes. But yeah.
And as we know at the moment, we've got COVID taking place, which means a lot of our jobs are now from home. Do you feel this has had a positive impact on some of us with disabilities now? We're not having to commute into the offices, and all these jobs that, oh, we could never work from home, we can now work from home. And it's being able to, give us more spoons back, give us more energy. How do you feel it's helped you at the moment?
I think in terms of people have, it's weird that it's taken for this amount of time and for this situation to happen for it to mean that those who need accessibility requirements and stuff like that are able to now because everyone else is able to, which is a struggle, because you think how much have people tried to get this sorted, and how much have we worked hard to get it done before, but it's taken for something like this to happen. But yeah, for me, I don't mind working from home. The thing that I need is the socializing, but that's just me as a person. So I do enjoy working from home because it means that travel time, morning and the evening, has been taken out, but it also means that I'm up and I'm straight away working. So yeah, I don't know. I think it is a struggle sometimes thinking about it has taken this long, for those people that need to work from home or need other, maybe even like have a day at home or to break the week up. They can't do it every day, and it's taken for this. But fingers crossed, this is the thing that changes it all, and it means that people are catered to a lot easier, and also people are more considerate of it.
That's what I'm in hope, or at least working strategies will change, like even down to buildings and rental of buildings. Now, instead of your whole team being in, actually maybe you just rent a desk ad hoc and you as your team going to work together as a team, as opposed to, so what I don't want to do is go into work and do exactly what I could have done in work at home, and then all my meetings are on Zoom. Now, if they're all in person and it's like a huge kind of workshop, fair enough, I'm all for it. If it's an away day, all for it. But if you're telling me, oh, you need to go into work on a Wednesday, I'm going to log in and do exactly what I was just going to do at home, I won't be too best pleased.
No, not especially now we know we can do it. That it's not a thing where when it all first happened, people were umming and ahhing about how it's going to work and stuff, but it's been going on for over a year now, and I think people have grasped how it's going to be possible. And yeah, definitely I'm quite hopeful, and I'm hoping for the fact that it just means that if someone does say at the beginning of their job, look, would it be possible if I having, or even having a bad day, like I've fallen over or I'm really, really not comfortable at the moment, can I work from home? They'll be like, yeah, because we know it's possible. But yeah, for my job, because I'm in TV, where sometimes I'm needed on location, which again I like because I'm getting out of the house. But again, it's like a thing where that is breaking it up, because we do have to be there, and it's good, but also it means that all the other times we've been able to just be at home and sort everything out around that there.
And how has work been? So like, you work in the media industry within Fat Sense. Years ago, we probably didn't have Fat Sense. We're getting all these new terminologies coming up all the time. Do you want to explain a little bit more to people what factual entertainment actually is?
Yeah, so the industry sort of that I'm in is unscripted. When we say unscripted, it's not like the soaps, it's not a drama, which I'm sure they'd be amazing to work on. But the route that I first initially went down was I started working at Channel 5, like as an intern. So I was doing that, and it's more factual documentaries and stuff like that, but I also work on entertainment shows. So I always class the Apprentice. I started working on that before lockdown. The first lockdown ever, that was when I was on there. But also I've done like quite a few I've done fun show for Netflix and stuff like that. So yeah, the genres sort of that I work in are factual entertainment and documentaries. And yeah, that's what I do.
Which one's your favourite, if you have one?
Oh, I really like entertainment shows because it's sort of what I watch, but also it's just the fun because there's so much going on. It could be literally anything. I'm currently working on an ITV2 like dating show, which is hilarious, but it's just so fun and it's such a light-hearted show. And that's what I love because I have a contribution to speaking to the people that appear on the show and stuff like that. So yeah, I love it. I love it so much.
Well, that leads me quite nicely on to dating. We're both single. You're working on a dating show. How are you single if you're on a dating show?
No, I know.
Like, Rob the contributor.
I honestly thought it was so ironic when I first joined it, and they were like, "So we're doing a dating show." I was like, "Oh, brilliant, okay." But it's from a different angle, really, the show. But I was just like, I might come out married. Who knows? But
Butter up your contributors. Oh, I'm so sorry it never worked out.
Yeah, I know, but it's hard as well. Like it's not like I wouldn't say I'm overly confident and stuff, but I can definitely understand how when I'm quite honest and everything, how that can be a little bit intimidating. And also I'm quite career orientated as well, which is a struggle, like especially when I first started out and having the balance of socializing and working. I don't think I've grasped that still anyway. But lockdown and everything has definitely helped me take a step back and see what I need to focus more on, especially because I have no other choice really, like when I'm not going out to work. So yeah, it's a struggle, but at the same time I feel like quite happy in myself at the moment. But there's always that thing where you, especially at the beginning of lockdown, I was like, oh my gosh, like, how can I do this? But it's just nice to have someone else, in my opinion. That's what I think. But at the same time, I'm not fussed.
Totally agree. It's like, when I was with my ex, I hated living with him, and if we were living together now, I would have moved out. I think our relationship would have probably ended after a month of being together 24/7.
Yeah.
So in some aspects, I guess I've been blessed from that, and now being on my own, it gives you a real chance to like reflect, as you were saying, and to really understand yourself and what you want, where you want to go, and really focus on things. I love being single, but I'd love to meet somebody. But I am exactly like you, very career orientated. I know what I want to do in life. I know where I want to go. I've just got that little bit of a missing piece in my jigsaw. And I just want him to fit in that little gap and come along for the journey.
I really enjoy my life. I really enjoy everything around it. Like I love my family. I spend quite a lot of time with my family and things like that. So it is just a thing where you just if someone could just sort of fit into that as well, it'd be good. But at the same time, I always think I try not to compare myself ever to anyone, but you see it and you can see that some people do just always want someone. And I thought, oh, it would be nice. But at the same time, I'm at that point where I'm like, no, I'm not too fussed. It will happen when it happens. Definitely. And also the right person will come along when they're meant to. I can't force it, because when you force it, then it's not going to go well with it, really.
No, I totally agree. And we've got to be happy within ourselves before we can ever even introduce somebody, because what I've seen in the past, like I've had ex-boyfriends where they're so dependent on me that when I'm not with them, they fall apart, and it's kind of like they're living every day to make me happy or to be with me. And it's kind of like, no, because you're putting all your happiness based on one person. And if you're to do that and the relationships to break down, then, that's not good for you and your mental health. But I get compromising, we have to compromise. But for me, I think the most important thing is family. They have to be family orientated themselves because I am. I dote on my niece and nephew. I love them to pieces. And if the moment I can see them, I tell you, I'll be straight then. I've been on the dating apps and guys have been like, oh yeah, so when COVID ends and we're allowed to meet, do you want to go for a date? And I'm like, no, I won't, because that very first person I want to see is not you. Like, I want to see my niece and my nephew. I'm like, join the line. Like, first of all, it's my niece and my nephew. Then it's going to be my best mate Sam and her my goddaughter. But so I'm going to see them. Then it's going to be Bridget and my godchildren there. I says, and then I'll see you. Like, obviously, it depends who we can see and where.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
yeah, but don't you want to meet me? And I'm like, well, we've got FaceTime. It's fine. Like, don't worry about it.
No, though, I had at the maybe like mid-lockdown, when you're speaking to someone and it's like a couple of days in and then like trying to FaceTime me, I'm a bit like, oh gosh, it's such a big thing, isn't it? So I don't know. I think maybe that's why I'm very like in the middle. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna try and make it effort, but someone wants to FaceTime. I'm like, oh no, maybe not. So yeah, it is. But I'm definitely like that. Like I want to see all of my friends. So I've got a big group of girlfriends, and it's so weird not seeing each other because we normally saw each other every weekend. So like those are one of the main things I want to be doing, and also like just seeing other people. Like that's not a priority for me. Like I like talking to people, but that's it. Again, when I'm allowed to have, like, I'm just going to see my friends first.
Yeah. I think sometimes it can be like companionship. I remember at the start of lockdown where you could see one person and like in an indoor setting. And I was dating this lad off Bumble and we would meet at our local Asda and do our weekly shop together. He'd have his trolley and I would have my trolley and we would do our own shopping. And one time I was like, I've just paid for your shopping. How the hell has that happened? Because he was putting things in my basket. And I was like, what the hell? Like, no, that's too serious. Like, not happening. It's like, oh no, I'll Monzo you the money. And then he's carrying my bags to the bus stop. And I'm just like, what? Like, I'm like, no, you're not coming back. Just like, I'll take my bags, you take your bags. I've not seen him since. Just like,
that was it. You
one
pay
step too far. That's like a guy leaving a toothbrush at your house. Just doesn't happen.
That's brilliant though. I've done like a few like walks and stuff, like because I've got a dog as well. So we went for a well, I mean, I got her out for this because she'll be barking away. But she it's a nice thing as well. Like I've been, I'm going for a dog walk or something like that. But I mean, that's really different going shopping together. You can see a lot by what they buy, can't you?
Yeah, that's the thing. Or it was awkward. But obviously, we can't do that now because you're not allowed to go shopping with other people. But even though I have a disability, I can probably get away with it under disability as my carer. But I'm not going to push it. I'm sticking not to going to the shops. So the only guy I see now is my actual delivery man when he comes and delivers me my food.
Yeah, hello, how are you? I have a different one each time.
Yeah, it's no good. Well, me next door but one neighbour, she's absolutely lovely, and she's now dating, and she introduced me to speed dating but online.
Oh wow!
So we've both done online speed dating, and we're going again on Tuesday, and I'm actually speaking after this to the guy that owns the actual thing and how he's had to adapt his business from in-person speed dating to online speed dating.
Oh,
and
wow.
Some people though that I attend, some people are really cool, really like, it's back to what we were saying before about FaceTime dating. It's kind of like, if a guy was just to phone me up on the app, I'm a bit like freaked out. But because I know in my head this is what I'm doing and you dress up for it, you know what's going to happen, it's a completely different mind shift. And 3 minutes, it's like bum, 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 bum. You can just whittle through them all very, very quickly. Yeah. Some people though that come on.
I quite like the, I think it's more I quite like the control. I'm a bit of a control freak anyway, just from my work and everything. So I like to know what's happening, when and stuff. And when I'm thrown off guard and I'm probably sat in my pajamas or something, no, sorry, can't do that. but knowing you're going to do something is quite a fun thing, isn't it? And you can sort of get excited about, have a drink before or something, and then just love yourself up. But like when you're like put on the spot, just me as a person, I'm like, oh my gosh, no.
No, I totally agree. But when I've done the speed dating, I've had my PJ bottoms on. It's only my top half, which is presentable. Yeah. Probably like I go to work every day. It's like the bottom part is loungewear, then you just dress up on the top part.
Oh, definitely. But when I know I've got a Zoom call or something happening, I just put on a nice jumper and I just sit here and like, I'm guessing we all do the same anyway, so it's all fine. But yeah, if someone saw me, considering when I do the Zoom calls or I know I've got a meeting or something, I will make it a bit of an effort. But any other time I'm sat in front of a computer, like my hair all mess and everything, like tapping. But yeah.
I was wearing my onesie on one call, but you couldn't really tell it was a onesie because it just looked like a jacket, because obviously the zip coming up. And this gentleman was like, "Oh, I really like your jacket." He says, "It's really American." He says, "Have you got that now? Donald's out of power." So then I went, "Oh no, it's not a jacket, it's a onesie." And I stood up and gave him a twirl, and I'm like, "What am I doing?" Like, I wouldn't have done that in the office. And then I'm like, and become professional again. My colleagues are just like,
yeah.
Hey, what you doing?
That is hard as well, having the balance as well, where you are at home and you're in the comfort of your own space and everything, trying to keep that professionalism whilst you've got a dog barking or I've got my sister running around somewhere. It's really hard, isn't it? And like, even when you've got others, like my manager's got children and we could be in like a call and stuff and just a little child pops in the corner and it is that little break, isn't it? Like it's still a thing where it's reality that this is happening and it's happening to everyone, which I quite like, because I think you can be too serious, can't you? I know I can be like sometimes when I get into work and stuff and I get into like a headspace where I'm just working and we have a laugh and stuff, but I do, whereas now like you can't be too serious about things like this because we are at home still.
That is the other thing, and you are getting to meet family members of partners that you would never have got to meet, and your work colleagues, and you're meeting the pets. It's like the amount of headphones my colleague has gone through because the cat's eating it whilst they're on conference calls. I'm like, "Now, cat, you're on mute," and the cat's gone across it, or the dog. But it's also, I find it makes meetings a little bit more light-hearted as well. It takes away a lot of the seriousness as well. And it doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's like when my friend's on a call and his parents come in with food. It's like, "Oh, I'll have a burger, please, mister." Like, "What about me? Where's my brew?" Like, "I want one." And just get "hello" in the background.
Yeah. Or they start to walk in and then they realise that you're on a call and oh, sorry.
My worst one, it's like I live on my own, but my parents in a bubble, and I'd gone round to my parents because my best friend was getting married. So that's where you're allowed like 2 people to attend, like your witnesses. Yeah. So I was going to my friend's wedding and I had to go on a call before I went to the wedding. And I said to my mum, I went, "Mum, 1 hour, no coming upstairs, no vacuuming, and just do not disturb me. Don't you tell me what to do in my house." And I'm just like, "No, Mum, it is a very, very, very important meeting. Just please do not, Dad, please have words with Mum. Okay, don't worry about it. Hey, do you want to have a shower before you leave for the wedding? I need to know because I need to clean the bathroom." Opens the door. "Okay, did you want to have a shower? Okay, I've got a towel ready for." Like, "Hi there, 2 seconds, please." Yeah. Get the fuck out. Like, I'm back in the room.
And you just try and stay so professional. And I've done it as well. I had to talk to my old university, so I do some talks with like the students, and one of them, my dog was just barking at everything, but like it was like she's got a really piercing bark and I was like, "I can't even talk over you because you have no idea what I'm saying." So I'm like trying to grab the dog, like, "Please stop," and we're all like holding the dog like, "Ah." But yeah, it is, I like it. And also it does it, I think it reminds everyone that we're all just the same people. We've still got all our stuff going on and we have got a life outside of work.
And we're human as well. And I think the best thing for me, I don't know if you've had any medical appointments whilst during COVID. I'm really enjoying doing all my medical appointments online.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I can be on this call with you now, and then my phone might ring. Oh, 2 seconds, the hospital's phoning. Boom, end that. Go to that one. Go from boop, boop, and I'm back in the room, and not have to
Yeah.
like go half an hour there, wait in a messy little clinic where I'm probably going to get ill or pick something up.
Yeah.
They're delayed. They can just phone me whenever they want. If they're delayed, it doesn't bother. You've
Yeah.
pre-warned your colleagues that the doctor may phone, and happy days.
Yeah. Do you think, I think it will carry on like this as
I
well?
hope
I
so.
know everything's going to be prolonged anyway, but like just even the way that doctor surgeries are working and everything, that I don't really go to, I don't have medical appointments around my disability anymore. But I had like a physio, maybe was it just before lockdown or maybe 6 months before we all went into lockdown last year, and they called me up. I think it must have been just at the beginning, and they were like, obviously we can't do anything now, but like just wanted to check in with you that everything's going okay. And I was like, yeah, all good. But like you don't even know, because I was like given exercises and stuff that I tried to stick to, but it's really a really weird thing. I took up Pilates when
Very
I was
nice.
doing, I do Zoom now because that's what they I was recommended with the physio.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, just do some Pilates if you can. And before I
Fly
was like, no, I
London,
don't
they're
want to do it.
good
Yeah.
on
But
Instagram.
I started doing them, and I love them, but also it's so bizarre. I'm like sat in my front room on my own, all my gym gear, doing a Zoom class.
We do like Pilates / yoga every Thursday over Zoom, and I joined there's an Instagram one which is called Fly London, and they've now took to doing their lessons on Instagram, so they do like Instagram lives, and they have like little session timetables. So it's really good, because I would have obviously gone to London to do Pilates because I'm in
Yeah.
Manchester, but it gives me that option to join in on these sessions, and my colleagues go to those ones as well, so we can have like a little chat about it, like, oh, did you go to Pilates this morning? I
Yeah,
did.
have a little catch up
Seeing
over.
you in the chat.
Yeah.
But what's going to be next for you then at the moment? What's your plans next?
Well, for my, I've bought an exercise bike. I've started to get things a bit, I'm going a bit crazy, I think, where I've been
Okay.
at home so long. But my contract for this job finishes at the end of March. So hopefully I'll be going on to something else after that. But I think for me, now I'm at a point where, because I have been at home for so long, I'm trying to think of other ways to entertain myself and stuff. So yeah, I've bought a fitness bike.
Is that a
So I'm
proper
gonna
fitness bike, or is
have
it one
an active
like the
spin bike,
roller? Cool, because
like an
I've had a look at the mini one recently, like the mini exercise that can go under your desk and you're like a
yeah,
little gerbil. So
yeah.
I was looking at that one.
I was looking at all of them, and it was like a point where I've wanted them for a while. I'm really bad at buying stuff anyway, but I was just, I'm going to do it. And because I walk my dog some days, I do my Pilates and stuff, and I was like, I'm just going to spend this time to do it on me while if I'm not working, or the time that I'm not working, I can't do much else really. So just start cycling.
So now all you need is the walking machine. Put that
Yeah.
next to it. Put your dog on it with a lead. Your dog can go for a run, and you can go for a bike ride.
Oh my gosh, yeah, then we're sorted. Then we're absolutely sorted. But I'm actually quite thankful that I got a dog. I got her probably a couple of months into lockdown last year, and I've wanted a dog for like so long. We used to have one, but it's been so good because I have been going out, and I wouldn't be walking as much as I am now. So I am thankful for that. But I'm also like, when when my contract finishes, I'm like, should I just get another dog? Should I get one? And then they've got two, and I can use that time to train it up. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm very much just playing it by ear, going with the flow, especially because my industry is quite fast paced, even at this time. Like things are always changing. Like this job I was meant to actually finish a couple of weeks ago, but because filming's been pushed back and stuff, things are just happening. So I'm just like, I'll just see what happens. But hopefully when things start to ease, I want to see people.
Yeah.
Just want to see my friends, and I want to be able to just be outside and not think I'm just having to do my exercise or something, and just socialize a bit, because that is just me as a person. I love to see people, and I love to just have a laugh and everything.
No, I totally agree. And with the media as well, there's always new programs coming up. And even though COVID is taking place, filming hasn't stopped completely. So
Mm.
hopefully there'll be other opportunities as well. So I know ITV at the moment are doing training schemes, and
Yeah.
they're asking for people at the moment. So fingers crossed. Do
Yeah.
you have a preference on which company, like if we'd say ITV, BBC, Channel 4, Channel 5? Have you worked across all of them? Because you've done Channel 5 and ITV.
I've done Channel 5, ITV. I've done a Netflix one. I haven't done like I'm quite picky in terms of what I work with, because I don't like to work on programs or sort of shows that I like to watch like
Yeah.
fully. I think it ruins it for me. I love to watch, and I love watching telly. Like that is my downtime after working. I'll go and sit and watch something. So I like to work on jobs that I wouldn't necessarily be watching, like engineering shows and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And I mean, the anomaly is The Apprentice when I got offered that, but like I love Channel 4 in terms of just I spent a lot of my university degree and my work focusing on disability and television and things like that. So um I've always said, like initially when I started out in TV, I wanted to work at Channel 4. And then I learned how I go about being a freelancer and stuff. And it's a very different like way of that I thought it was going to be. So now I sort of take jobs that are interesting, but also it's about sort of how long I'm on a job for now. I focus on that security sometimes. But also, yeah, I did my last job that I did was the Happy Birthday Mr. Bean. It came out at the beginning
Oh,
of the year, and it was a documentary about it. And it was one of my I've met Rowan Atkinson. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So yeah, I just sort of, because I've made so many like I've made a lot of connections now in TV. It's like if someone's got a job or they know that they're crewing up, then I'm like, yeah, I'll come and help out
that's good.
if I've worked with them before. So yeah, definitely. In terms of work, I try to do all different channels and I try to do all different programs just because it switches it up, bit of diversity, bit of change as well. Like because I don't want to be doing the same programs.
No, I can totally agree with that. If you're doing the same one time after time, it then becomes, it's back to that whole nothing really changes if it's always the same
Yeah,
cast and crew.
yeah.
You're never going to be able to bring diversity to the show if everything's always the same at the background. You always need to keep up to speed with your audience and who's watching the content and what's out
Definitely.
there.
And I like to challenge myself as well. I do things that I never thought I'd ever do, like an engineering show in my life, and I've done a couple of them, and you learn so much on them as well. And then also, yeah, like I never thought I'd be doing a dating show, but I think this has been one of the funnest things that I've worked on because it is have an amazing team, but also just the actual show itself is really light-hearted and stuff. And I like you work on stuff that it doesn't make an impact, so to say, like a big impact on someone's life or something, but if we have a program that we know is going to lighten people's day or make something a bit positive, especially at this time, then yeah, that's quite important for me.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been lovely to talk to you.
No, thank you. I've had great fun. I mean, it's so nice to talk to someone else,
It's
isn't
like
it?
human.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. But yeah, no, thank you. And it's been lovely.
And where can people find out more information about you, and maybe if you're on like LinkedIn or Twitter and so forth, where can we
Yeah,
send
so
people?
I'm on my Twitter presence isn't so much. I just sort of follow people and stuff. My Twitter is Leonie Dapony, so it's LeonieDapony. And then I'm on Talent Manager as well, which is like the LinkedIn for TV, and that's just my name, Leonie Buck. And yeah, LinkedIn I am on, but again, it's not really TV based, but I'm always on it. You always get all those notifications about network requests, so I just pop on there. But yeah, I'm on all of those channels, so you can just find me on there.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, and we'll tag your profiles as well within the descriptions below, so check them out. And if you're looking for project coordinators and production coordinators, hit Leonie up.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.